Hello, A-Person here, and welcome to the second video in this Mono Coloured Planeswalker Challenge preview on Magic the Gathering Arena. I'm going to be doing a collaboration with my fellow YouTuber Kabira Run, who's a specialist MTG YouTuber these days, and we're going to be doing a Mono Coloured Planeswalker Challenge where we try and build a deck revolving around a particular Planeswalker. And today's deck, we're playing a Basri Ket deck, even though we only have two of them in the entire deck. But Basri Ket is a Planeswalker for M21 that says put a +1/+1 counter on up to one target creature. It gains indestructible until the end of turn. And the -2 whenever one or more non-token creatures attack this turn. Create that many 1/1 white soldier creatures tokens that are tapped and attacking. And he has a -6 of you get an emblem at the beginning of your combat on your turn. Create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, then put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That's the best part of this entire card. So Basri's card design in particular entails us to play a Mono White Aggro deck, which means we are to drop a lot of creatures down on the board and try and attack in and win as soon as possible with efficient trades. It's almost like don't really care much about what the opponent's doing, we just want to attack in and try and protect our own stuff. So to that extent, I've taken a template from a Mono White Aggro deck, but we're going a different direction with this. Because of some key Mono White creatures they fall into the different archetypes that are party tribes in many ways. We're doing a Mono White Party Aggro deck, so that's why this deck looks like as it is. So let's go through all the different cards. First we have 4 Archpriest of Iona, which is a 1 mana something 2 because the power is equivalent to the number of creatures in your party. And in this particular deck we can go as far up to 3 power, because we're not really able to play all the party creatures, but you'll see why in just a moment. So yeah, we will never be able to get to use that second ability, at least not in this particular deck anyway. When we combine this with the Liliana deck, we might actually get a chance to use that special ability, but we'll see how things go. 4 Giant Killer, a staple of modern Mono White decks, because I say modern Mono White decks, I mean present day ones, not actual modern format, because let's be fair, modern is a much more powerful format than Giant Killer really needs to be in. But it can be used as removal for 3 mana to destroy a target creature of power 4 or greater, so that could be pretty good. And we also pay 2 mana, tap it, and tap a target creature. This will allow other creatures we have on board to be able to attack without losing them or fear of being blocked. We also have 4 copies of Selfless Saviour, the cutest dog in the world, to try and protect all of our creatures from dying. If a creature is about to be blocked and we're about to be died, we can sack our Selfless Saviour and give that creature indestructible until the end of turn. It's also really good for protecting us against board wipes, so an extra utility there. That's all for the 1-drops. In the 2-drop slot, we're playing 3 Drannith Magistrate. The key reason is because it's a wizard, so that's why we mainly play it. But it also has the benefit of being able to hard block adventures and other means to try and play out of our opponent's hands. So it basically stops Gruul Adventures from being able to cast Lovestruck Beast, which is pretty sweet. We also have 1 copy of Kabira Takedown as land in the deck, but it also allows us to act as removal. We can use it to deal damage to the number of creatures you can, to deal damage equal to target creature. So it's a bit like Outnumber in some ways, really. Yeah, it's a bit equivalent to that card. 4 copies of Luminarch Aspirant. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/+1/+1 counter on target creature you control. This is a really, really sweet card. Basically, you get to plus whatever comes down. Now, you can plus the Aspirant and it could die, but we have Selfless Saviours to try and protect the Aspirant from potential death there. So, good card to have out on the field. So, anyway, if we want to try and keep this thing down, then we can get a really, really big board really, really easily just by leaving this thing out. It's really, really good. It's also a cleric, so that can play a factor in our party. Not that Archpriest of Iona will care too much, but we have that as an opportunity. Best card in the deck, 4 copies of Seasoned Hallowblade. A card that if we can discard a card, tap it and it gets indestructible until the end of turn. So If we keep this thing down, it can apply a lot of pressure, and our opponents have a lot of problems dealing with it. And if we run out of cards, we can also use Selfless Saviour to protect the Seasoned Hallowblade and keep the pressure on. So, yeah, really, really good card. And it gets even better when we see the next card in the deck, Maul of the Skyclaves. When Maul of the Skyclaves enters the battlefield, attaches to target creature you control. Equipped creature gains +2/+2 and has flying and first strike. It does equip for 4, so that can be quite expensive to re-equip, but the auto-equip is mainly why we're playing it, because we want instant impacts. I've already gone over Basri, so let's go over Skyclave Apparition, which is our primary form of removal in this deck. It's a 2/2 for 3 mana, but when it enters the battlefield, you get to exile any creature of converted mana cost 4 or less and put it underneath it. But when Skyclave Apparition gets defeated, they get a token instead of that creature back, so really, really useful. 3 Heraldic Banner. I do not have Glorious Anthem at the moment, so that's why I'm playing Heraldic Banner, but Heraldic Banner can also be pretty useful for activating the ability of the one creature we haven't seen in the deck yet, so it's really useful for that. And finally, we got 2 copies of Tasri, Beacon of Unity, a 5 mana creature, which seems a bit expensive for this deck, but this spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. And then it has an activated ability, which is 8 white mana, or it can be, you can reduce that casting cost with a blue, black, red or green mana to look at the top 6 cards of your library and find up to 2 cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard or ally cards and put them into your hand. So it's additional card draw later in the game if we have the correct mana. The problem with that is that it's pretty expensive to activate, so as a result you'll see the land base in just a moment. Emeria's Call is mainly used as a land here, but we also have an option to create 2 4/4 White Angel Warrior creature tokens with flying and give the rest of our team indestructible, so utility right there. As for the rest of the land base, we have 2 Castle Ardenvale, really useful for creating tokens if we're to run out of cards in our hand. Mono White is not very good at drawing cards at all, so we need another outlet to be able to create creatures, and this is a really good one to have. 8 planes in the deck. We also have 3 Brightclimb pathway, 3 Needleverge pathway, and 3 Branchloft pathway, because they are white lands which can also flip and be used for alternate mana. Unfortunately, at the time of recording, we do not have the pathways from Kaldheim that will complete the cycle, but once I get them, I plan to add them to this deck. And finally, we have 1 copy of Crawling Barrens, another outlet for a creature. So if we run out of creatures, if we have a Crawling Barrens in the field, we can use our mana to pump it and attack with the Crawling Barrens to try and push through for game. Okay then, so that's how the deck works. So without further ado, let's go to the games and see this deck in action. Okay, so we have a pretty decent hand going first here. Multiple outs, but we are going seconds. Sorry, so I said we're going first, but what am I saying? So we could go into Archpriest of Iona into Drannith Magistrate. It's a rogue's deck, isn't it? Wow, that's frustrating. Now, we do have Seasoned Hallowblade, which could be immune to most of their removal, but if they're playing Lewis, they don't play Brazen Borrower, so if we get a Seasoned Hallowblade down, they might struggle to deal with it, but well, there's a Seasoned Hallowblade, so I'm going to start with an Archpriest of Iona first. And then we're going to put Seasoned Hallowblade down. Crab, crab, crab. Crap, crap. Well, there goes the milling. We need another land. There's another land. Seasoned Hallowblade down. Unfortunately, that crab being a 0/3 means we can't actually attack with our Archpriest of Iona, which is super frustrating. Oh dear. We're going to drop Luminarch Aspirant next turn, I think, and then we're going to go ahead and put our counter on the Archpriest of Iona so that we can hit through past the Ruin Crabs. That being said, if we allow to keep our Archpriest of Iona, And judging by what they're doing, it probably won't be the case. We could really do with a Selfless Saviour, really. My hopes for calling the top deck did not pay off, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and cast Luminarch Aspirant. Please don't counter it. Ah, and crap, they got countered it. Okay, well we're going to go ahead and then attack with... we'll go ahead and play a Giant Killer. And then attack with the Seasoned Hallowblade. Next turn we can start tapping down their Ruin Crabs. Hopefully. See how it goes. Actually, we can play Drannith Magistrate to pump it to the Archpriest of Iona to 3-2 and attack through. Why did I think of that before? Look at that mill though, we're down to just 35 cards in our deck already, and they have 50. Yeah, that's problematic to say the least, and we've really taken 2 life off them so far. So we need to get somewhere for... Ooh, that's really good. I don't feel prepared to play it just yet though, so we'll go ahead and cast Drannith Magistrate. And then we're going to go ahead and tap down one of their Ruin Crabs. And swing with Seasoned Hallowblade and Archpriest of Iona. They're going to want to fast mill me out, so... Oh crap, they got a Thieves Guild Enforcer. Are you serious? Well, if they block the Seasoned Hallowblade, we can always make it indestructible. But I think they're going to block the Archpriest of Iona. Another one! Oh, come on! Ah! Yeah, I think it's taking them 2. So just like to play, I think get in play queue. In play queue. I repeat. In play queue. Well, there goes the Archpriest of Iona. It did its job. Unfortunately, they had too much and they were able to get some stuff in the hand. Now, they're admittedly down to not a lot in the hand, but Lewis does allow them to bring it back again. I say they're down to so few cards, but of course they have 1 mine for 1 mana to draw 2 cards. Completely fair and balanced magic right there. We're going to have to take 3 from this Thieves Guild Enforcer because... I don't know if actually some stuff blocks them from doing certain things, but we're going to go ahead and cast more of the Skyclaves for our Seasoned Hallowblade, which should be a great outlet for actually trying to win the game. And we're going to keep the other cards in our hands so that we can protect ourselves from their removal. Nothing else can really attack, so we put them on a turn clock now, so let's see how they deal with it. It can be quite difficult for them to deal with it, but they can also mill us out. We have 27 cards left in our deck, and it's not unreasonable to think that they can mill out our entire deck. So let's see how they cope with this. I will take that. Honestly, the one thing they need to kill is something we can protect. So we're going to try playing Basri since he is the namesake of the deck. Well, he's the Planeswalker we're using for this Mono Coloured Planeswalker challenge. I have a feeling he's going to get countered right here, but see how things go. Now they can use Soaring Fort Thief to... yeah, he gets countered. That's fine. We got outlets for trying to... now if they have Soaring Fort Thief in hand, they can block the Seasoned Hallowblade. And we're going to go and discard a card. Yeah, I'll try to remove it because... yeah, my plan is to try not to play anything in the future, so they're forced to try and remove the Seasoned Hallowblade, and then we can discard cards to try and prevent that from happening. Ruin Crab comes in though, we need to beat the mill, which is extremely problematic. We're going to be down to about 17 cards left in deck. They could probably potentially mill more if they play just one rogue. So yeah, it depends on what happens next, really. Into the story. I don't think that's going to help you. You have 1 mana left. Now that could be another Thieves Guild Enforcer, admittedly. I'll take that. But I think that we're probably going to win this, because if I don't play anything and then just attack with the Seasoned Hallowblade, we win. Yes! There we go. That's how this deck works. We just beat Dimir Lurrus Rogue, so... if that was the side of the deck's potential, then yeah, I've been working on this deck for quite a bit actually, so it's a lot more refined than the Liliana deck was, and I think you could see that in here. Anyway, let's go to the post-game wrap-up, and we'll talk a bit more about the deck itself. So yeah, this deck did pretty well for itself against Dimir Rogues of all decks, which is probably the most efficient and annoying deck currently in Standard, so yeah. We had answers for them, and they could not deal with a more of the Skyclaves attached to Seasoned Hallowblade, because all their removal was pretty much blanked against it. That's my slight issue with the Lurrus build. I get the idea of having the Recursion because of Lurrus, but the problem with that is that you miss out on stuff like Nighthawk Scavenger, Brazen Borrower, which is the biggest out to Seasoned Hallowblade that they can get for this. And you miss out on other stuff like Rankle and stuff. The initial build, I've been more a fan of that, but competitively people have been moving towards the Lurrus build of Dimir Rogues. So make of that what you will. Anyway, this deck in particular, I think played pretty well. I have barely ever managed to get Tasri's ability off when playing this deck in casual plays. So yeah, but we do have the option for it with our dual coloured lands, as it were. So yeah. Skyclave Apparition you never got to see, but really good cards in general. Basri sadly got counters, which is a shame because this deck's supposed to be about him in many ways, but yeah, that happened unfortunately. But it probably was either that or having to discard another card, because Drowning the Lock is a ridiculous card. I must admit, I saw Drowning the Lock ages ago. I thought that is really good. Why isn't it being played competitively much? Why don't you see it so much? And now you see it all the freaking time. So yeah, I guess we need another rotation for Drowning the Lock to be really good, and an archetype that effectively supports milling, I guess. So there is that too. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. I'll be playing this deck in the Mono Coloured Planeswalker challenge. I don't know against which of the decks, but we will. I have my preferences about which deck I want to have this face, but we will see how things go, because it could go either way with this one, really. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Please share this with your friends so you can get more people watching it. Please subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with new videos coming out, including the Mono Coloured Planeswalker Challenge collaboration coming out in the new year. And hit that notification bell to get notified of future updates and videos. Also follow me on Twitter at generic_aperson or one word. Thank you for watching. I've been A Person. Goodbye.